Okay, YouTube, I'm here with the CEO of Young Bull Investors, Maryyam Ghaffar. I know it's been a while since we've done an interview, but here we are, back and better than ever. Maryyam, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Mitch. I'm Maryyam. As Mitch mentioned, I run Nimble Investors Group, and I've been trading now for over 4 years. It's now into my fifth year of trading. I day trade US stocks, so small caps to large caps, only common shares. It's been a great journey so far. Like, I just wake up in the morning, trade, done within like 10 minutes the market open, and I'm just chilling and doing whatever I want. So, can't complain. It's been great.
And yeah, that's what trading is all about, getting your freedom back, and it's really financial freedom, buying your time back and being able to do, whatever you want. Kind of like how Miriam does, 10 minutes, she's in and out. I wish we all could do that, but
It's it takes work and it's an effort for sure that you have to put in to learn the skill, but once you do, it's totally worth it. Day trading is the only business that I know of where you're able to achieve financial freedom and time freedom both. You don't have any customers to reply to, you don't have any bosses to talk to. It's just you yourself that you have to hold yourself accountable for it, which can be a good thing or a bad thing depending on you as a person. But I love it. Like it's been going great for me. I'm 23, just chilling through life now.
yep, 23 and winning. So tell us a little bit about what made you start trading. What were you doing before trading?
I got into it by accident, actually, which is crazy. I was doing investing. So I went to University of Calgary. I'm from Canada, and I did accounting in there. And I just graduated in May,
Okay,
but I did accounting.
yes.
That was my degree, and I was actually looking into investing. So when I was younger, I was like, I want to be a prime minister of Canada or something like that in grade 9. And I talked to my dad, and he's like, no, pick a good career path, and then if you want to go into politics, you can. So I was like, okay, fine. I want to be CEO. And I remember like, going to like these teachers or counselors and they're like, yeah, good luck with that. And one thing about me is like, if I'm set on something, I will do whatever I need to do to be able to achieve that outcome. It doesn't matter to me how long it takes. It's like, if I want something, I will go get it. And I was looking into investing and I was, looking into Warren Buffett and Peter Lynch, all these great investors. And I was like, maybe like financial freedom is like through passive income and I'm just going to do investing on the side, whatever. And so I was like, doing investing, getting into that, like $100 per month. And then I bought a stock, IMRN, my first ever stock that got me into trading. And I
Okay.
was like, oh, this is a great stock to invest in for long term that I found on Twitter. For some reason, I checked back on it in 10 minutes and it's gone up by like a lot of money. And I've made like $500 on that. And I'm like, I need to find more stocks like this and I need to know what this is and do exactly this. Cut to it's like trading small cap stocks. And I'm like, okay, done. Like I need to figure this out. Obviously, like my journey is like it wasn't all, roses and like golden and stuff. It was I lost like I think over in the beginning like $3,000 because I was working a retail job at Mark's
Right.
clothing store here. The amount of money that I lost because I had no idea what I was doing. And I'm like, yep, I'm done. I quit. So I quit after
Yeah.
4 months of like losing a lot of money. And it was just brutal. And then I got back into it and I was like, okay, like I need to do this again. Lost money again. And at the time, like I was so new to it and I didn't have a mentor. I joined Signal Groups like the second time that I started trading again. I ended up like, paying $500 for a group and they were giving me only their entry and exits like on Telegram. And I was like, okay, this is great, but like I need to know why you're entering and exiting. And the way that my mind works is just it has to be logical for me to do it. Maybe it's
Right.
into accounting, I don't know, but I was like, if you can't tell me why you're entering or exiting into the stock or like how you're finding these stocks, I shouldn't even be doing this, right? It makes no sense. It is gambling at that point. And they weren't able to tell me why. And if they were having losses, they wouldn't be transparent about it either. And they were like, oh, like it happens, it's part of the game. We like didn't trade with that much capital or whatever. It just wasn't the vibe, as youngsters like to call it now, the vibe. But I was like, okay, this is not it for me. And I left that group. I ended up like trying to get some mentorship into, but they just didn't really know what they were talking about either. Like they didn't have a strategy. They were just like, you have to focus on this thing, you have to focus on that thing. And I'm like, okay, but how does that make me a better trader if I do that? Again,
Right.
no answer. Quit again. I was like, this is not it. This is not for me. Looking at something else. And then I went back in 2, 3 months later and I was like, okay, you know what? Like you do your own research, you figure this out because if this is what you want to do, you can do it. Like there's opportunity. People are making money from day trading. Like there's full-time traders and they're doing it somehow. That means I need to be able to do it. And so that's like where I really like the strategy, the psychology portion of it. And it took me 2 years to
Okay.
build like a bit of my strategy and be profitable. And then another like 6 months to be able to replace my 9 to 5 income. So I was working at a corporate job and I was able to make my annual salary within 1 month and I did this with it. Like that was my first one. I was like, I freaking did it.
Okay, okay. So from getting lucky from your first trade to going to these trading groups that are just throwing out signals, how did you actually educate yourself and learn, what's a good trade, what's a bad trade?
Yeah, so in the beginning, I know TradingView was a pretty popular software. The only problem with TradingView is that it doesn't have complicated, like it doesn't have scanners that are, there. They're not great. Like I've tried it all. I've tried TradingView, I've tried Webull. I used to be really into that. Didn't work out. And then I live in Canada, so we had Thinkorswim here, like through my bank. I bank with TD. And so they had Thinkorswim, and I'm like, why don't I just give this one a try? It was the best software. Like I used YouTube a lot for that, and I was like, talking to TOS for Thinkorswim customer service representatives here a lot, and they were guiding me through like exactly what the software is. And obviously, like a lot of trial and error goes into it. The best way that I honestly learned was like the basic trading fundamentals and psychology was all through Google. Right, like how do you short a stock? How do you go long on a stock? Like what are the trading and market hours and so on? Like basic information you can find on Google, but the stuff like nailing down the strategy is through experience and your trading journal. I didn't know this at the time when I was doing it, but a trading journal will pretty much solidify your strategy like this and your risk management. So anytime I would trade, I would like, okay, I'm gonna implement this specific thing or like an EMA if I was gonna, have like a 34 EMA, so moving averages, indicators that tell me how to trade. If I was gonna add that in, I would write in my trading journal, like, okay, this is what I changed differently. Now look at like my weekly outcome of like what it did to my trading. If it was a positive outcome, we keep that EMA. If not, we get rid of that EMA. And like if I don't know what I was doing, I'm obviously not gonna use that EMA if I don't know what it's doing in my
Right.
strategy, right? So it took me a long time to like figure out exactly what to do, like from trial and error, but it was worth it. It paid off.
Okay, okay. Anything that you have to put time into is usually ends up being worth it.
Yes,
So
100.
you live in Canada. What makes you focus on small cap US stocks?
Oh, the Canadian market, the stock market here, oh, no. I again, like I got into US stocks by accident when I saw it on Twitter. And what I noticed is like if I tend to like this goes with anything in life. If you're focused on one thing specifically, let's say you're like, hey, I want to be an engineer, for example, and if you're focused on being an engineer, you're gonna get your 4 years of degree. But if you're like, I want to be an engineer, but hey, like this looks cool, or like this was a really hard class in engineering, maybe I should try kinesiology, or maybe I should try accounting now. You know what I mean? You have to
Right.
stick to one thing. And for me, it was like, okay, US stocks, small cap and large cap. I'm going to stick to this and figure this out. There's no point in me learning about crypto or Forex if I can't even figure out one financial instrument. There's no point, right? I didn't like Forex either because there was no set time to like trade. You can trade whenever you want. I don't like that.
Right. It's always
US
always going 24/7.
Exactly. Like in US stocks, I make money. Traders make their money off of volatility anyways. And so for me, like the biggest like power hour in the market is the first hour of the market being opened or pre-market. And like so the market where I am open 7:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 9:30 a.m. Eastern. And the first hour during that time is the most volatile, the best time to make your money and just be done. And you're gonna trade for like 10 minutes max, right? Because like you end up making your money if you know where to find the opportunity in like 10 minutes, maybe like max 30 minutes I've been in a trade, but that's it.
Okay, okay. So for new traders, what common myths and misconceptions would you like to debunk?
Trading is not a get rich quick scheme. Like, believe me, that's what I thought too. Like I was like, oh, this is gonna be a breeze. It's not.
Well,
But
once you watch like movies like Wolf of Wall Street or like Dumb Money, you think you're gonna hit it big, super quick, and
no, I
it
mean
doesn't
there's
usually.
times. 100%. Like when was this? Like 2 years ago, I think there was this one stock and I have a screenshot of it still saved. My biggest trade hands down was me making 60 grand on BNGO in a span of 2 days.
Okay.
Like I remember all my big stocks that I like made big money on, but my biggest one was for
Right.
sure BNGO. And I was like literally sitting on the floor. I'm like trading whatever. And I'm like, okay, and it was during the time of COVID. So everything was going crazy. And like during GME, GameStop, and, AMD and all that stuff. And I bought the stock, but it was like below $1. And at the time, YBA didn't exist. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna just like, it was doing good based on my indicators. I had held on to it the entire day and cut to like it goes up to $15. Like I've like made $15 per share profit. And I'm like, just hit big.
Crazy,
And obviously, like
crazy.
I sold. People held on to that stock and it went down. Like I think it's like I don't even know what it's trading at now, but it's just insane. But I'm like, if you have a skill, like if you know how to trade, you can find opportunity anywhere. You don't need to
Anywhere.
hit big.
Every day there's a winner and a loser.
There's a winner every single day. Every day. You just have to, but you also should not be trading every single day though, right? Like it depends on you entirely. This is like where you have a trading strategy, yes, but if you're not prepared to trade that day, you should not be trading. Like I've trust me, like I make this rule for myself and I haven't, every time I fail to follow it, I've lost money. And like I posted on it on my Instagram and I was like, hey, I lost $600 today because I was not ready to trade and I knew that and I promised myself that I wouldn't trade, but I did anyways.
And
And
it's
this was really
backfired on you. So you told us about your biggest win. Tell me about your biggest loss.
dude. So maybe this isn't that big to people, but to me, this is like hands down the biggest loss because like I was working a $15 Canadian per hour job and I had saved up like crazy to do trading. Like I did not spend money on food, clothes, nothing. I like thankfully live at home, so it's not, too big of a deal. But um I had saved up about $3,000 USD. And I remember like trading my first, and this was like after the IMRN trade because I had no idea how to trade. Lost it all. And it's very rare to lose like $3,000 in one trade,
At
especially
once. You lost it all in one trading session?
in one freaking trade. I lost it all and I was like, okay. And then my other pretty big trade, actually, I think this is like my biggest loss. It was I still have that stock stave and I don't even want to look at it. NCTY, that was a stock, and I lost over 8,000 USD in that. So it was trading I bought it at $20. So it went up to $80, which was like great money made. But at the time, like again, I was brand new to trading. I had no idea how to trade. This was like right around the
Right.
time of IMRN. And I held on to it because I didn't know what to do, right? Like I had no idea.
You
Held on
thought
to
it
it.
was just gonna keep climbing and keep climbing.
Yeah, a week later, it's like way below $10. And I'm like, oh no. So, from
It
profit to
happens.
loss.
You lived and learned from it,
Yeah.
so it wasn't all bad.
But it
So
was so worth it though, like all those losses, when you end up making all of them back within like one trade or two trades, you're just like, oh, that wasn't even like it was whatever. Like I had to learn that to be able
so
to
you
now.
didn't you didn't lose. It's more like you learned.
I mean, at the time, it was a loss because I did not learn anything. I just learned that I should not be trading at the time. Now I'm like, I'm glad that I did that. It was worth it. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
obviously like now losses. And I'm glad that like I run YBI. And the only reason like I introduced YBI was because there was a lot of demand for it. Like I was on Webull because there's like a commenting feature on Webull, the US stock brokerage. I can't trade on it, but
Yeah.
I had it on my phone because you could comment on it. And I was like giving out my resistance levels, like my strategy on it, like what I use and like the stocks I was trading. And everyone's like, what? Like, how are you finding this? How are you doing it? And I grew like a huge following on there. And then I had like this one girl hit me up and she was like, do you have an Instagram? And I'm like, yeah. And so I was like linking my Instagram on Weibo. And they're like, oh, like I'll pay you if you give me this every single day. And I'm like, pay me? I'm like, what do you
Wow. So
I'm
you started off giving out your plays for free.
well, because I didn't think much about it, right? I was like, oh, I don't really care because I'm making my money.
Right. You were
People
just
aren't
sharing.
paying
Yeah.
me. Like they're not paying me. The stock market is for following my rules. I'm more than happy with that. Like I don't care. And she's like, no, like I would love to pay you for it for the signals. Like if you give me, I'm like, okay, sure. So it started off like signals, like literally me giving my R levels and SNR levels, and then like the stocks that I was trading, and that was it. And then people were like, oh, this is great. Like I grew like a pretty huge following on Instagram through that, like 2-3 years ago. And they were like, this is great, but like, do you have this in a Discord? And I'm like, sure. And so like literally on the spot, I created the name Young Bull Investors because I don't know what else to name it. And so
It
that's
just
how
came to you.
I was like young, and then I'm like always bullish, yeah, and investors because I'm an investor. Why not?
Okay.
So
I
yeah,
like it. I like it.
Now
So
I'm like, kind of want to change it.
how long have you been running YBI?
So I actually started like doing it 3 years ago, but I didn't like focus on it. It wasn't my priority. I was again like studying, but I really took it seriously this summer. Because again, there was just a lot of demand. Like I had a lot of friends from here who were like, I want to learn this. And I have a lot of friends in the trading community here anyways. And they're like, dude, like what you're like, how are you finding these stocks? And I was like, oh, like this is like, I'm happy to show you this for free. I don't care. And they're like, this is huge. And so they had like a lot of people that they knew who were into this, and they're like, you should like start your Discord again. Like, and so I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. But I was like, if I want to start my Discord again, I want to teach people how to actually do it. Like, there's no point in me giving SNR if you have no idea how to trade these stocks, right?
Right.
And trading is a high income skill. It's not a get rich quick scheme. So you need to learn it to be successful. And so that's how like the YBA started. From like learning, like you pretty much learn how to be a trader from start to finish.
Okay, that's great because, like you were saying about the groups you had joined, a lot of people only give out their SNR levels and feel like that's enough to help new traders when it's really nowhere near.
Well, no. So the groups so signal groups actually give their entry and exits. So they'll be like, hey, I'm entering like $1 and I'm exit like, and then when they exit, they'll give you like their exit price, right? That's different. So SMR levels is like support and resistance levels. Support pretty much tells you where people want to buy more, so the stock's gonna go up. It's like
Right.
supply and demand.
Right.
Our
So
levels is resistance.
okay. So what can you tell me a little bit about your strategy outside of trading as pre-market, small market US caps? Like what qualifies a stock,
Yeah,
for you
so
to
I have
see it as
custom
bullish?
scanners. So this is why I love Thinker Swim, is because I get custom scanners, and then you're given these scanners also in the Discord when you join. So you're given all the information and tools you need to be successful. There's a custom scanner for pre-market, intraday, and then you can also do after hours. I just think it's too much. It's overtrading at that point. Like you should make your money in the first hour of the market open and you're done, right?
Right.
Um, so I've got my custom scanners. There's like a specific parameter that I can spell on it that's subscribed, and then it would just scan like a bunch of these stocks. It does not mean that all these stocks that are scanning are in play. That's where the second portion of my strategy comes in, which is calculating the key levels. So this is like in play numbers, S support and resistance levels, right? That tell you like, okay, if let's say stock XYZ scans and it's above the number, for example, $2, then you should be watching it and you should be getting ready to trade it. And then you've got your custom indicator set, which is provided by me as well, to confirm these entry and exit. Sounds like a lot, but it's not.
Okay. So the reason why I ask that is because whenever I interview somebody, I give them a chance to, present their screen and show us a little bit of their thought process. And since it's Sunday and the market is open tomorrow, this is like almost like a little, extra gift for the viewers because they get to see this before the market even opens.
I'm happy to show you. Crazy because I was just giving out a breakdown of plays right now, like on the Discord. So I'll give you an example of like a stock that I traded or that we called out anyways. So this is a custom indicator set that you're given in the Discord. It's a link, you just paste it in there. But obviously it's not going to make much sense right now. If you do go into the how to read the Start Here channel, you can obviously see how to use indicators. And there's a video showing you guys exactly how to take entry and exits based on the alerts that we give out. So these here, and then also what the indicator actually means. That's pretty much it. I would love to go over potential entry and exits on here, but it's not going to make much sense because people don't really know, how to use it right now. So
Right.
if you're in Discord, you know what I'm talking about. That's how majority of people are able to, start trading and then report their profits. This is here. And
So about your Discord for a brand new trader, how much does it cost to be, a YBI?
it's actually not expensive at all, surprisingly. So it's free for 3 days because obviously, there's a lot of scams going on. I was scammed too when I was starting out. And the main reason it's free for 3 days is because I'm really confident in this Discord. Everybody who joins it loves it. And then it's $100 per month, which is about $3.50 per day. That's less than your
That's not
coffee.
bad because with 3 free days, you should be able to make the money that you need, for the rest of
There
the
you
month.
go. it takes one day to make over $100. Literally one day. Your priority when you first join the Discord is to go through the start here section. So all of these channels over here, it can be overwhelming, and I know that it looks like that, but once you start reading it, it's such useful information that
So, as a woman in trading, and as we know, trading is predominantly male dominated, through all the guys posting on social media and pushing their discords. How do you deal with that?
um it's I think like in any business venture, it's like mainly male dominated. It's not, women aren't really the main focus. I like, again, I'm the kind of person who's like, I don't care what kind of gender roles are instigated on whatever thing that I want to achieve. If I want to do it, I'm gonna get there. And at the end of the day, it's really my effort that I'm putting in to get to a point. And I know that it's gonna inspire many other women, because the amount of DMs that I've received from women being like, hey, this is what I wanted to do, but I couldn't find somebody who was, a woman doing this and succeeding. This is great. Can you help me do it? And I'm like, absolutely. Are you kidding? Especially women now, like being financially independent is so important as a woman, because it's just not the generation or the time now that you're dependent on a man's income, right? And
Yeah.
trading is one of the best ways to be able to earn your own income and make your own money, no matter what your gender or role really is. And I think like being a woman in trading, it's like you've got those haters, but who doesn't? It's like
Right.
if you've got haters, you're doing something right.
If you
So
don't have any haters, you're doing something terribly
you got
wrong.
some. I'm like, hey, if you want to hate on somebody and you don't have a hate, you can hate on me. I'm okay with that. Like, I love that. So
Well, the Maryyam Ghaffar Hate Club is always accepting new members, so
Oh
don't
yeah.
feel shy.
Oh yeah.
So honestly, that's about everything I have for you, Miriam. It was amazing talking
Amazing.
with you. I'm sure my viewers are going to get a lot of value from you, and you are going to
Awesome.
get some more new investors in YBI, because YBI
Amazing.
is what new traders need. They need their hand held and actually to be taught, instead of just, throwing random numbers, early in the morning and just hoping that they do the best, because like you said, that's essentially gambling. You might as well start
100%.
betting on sports if you're going to do it like that.
100%. I mean, listen, if you're a doctor, would you rather have a doctor operating on you that doesn't have a, degree, or would you rather have a doctor who has a degree, who's gone through schooling to be operating on you? Because if you don't, you're gambling with your life.
Yeah, I
That's the
definitely
truth.
would want my doctor to have some healthy patients out there somewhere, and not just saying, "Oh, I can take out your liver and replace it."
You're not alone. Awesome.
Yeah, thanks so much for being on, Miriam. YBI, the link is going to be in the description. Check that out. It's an invaluable resource for new traders.
Well, thank you so much, Mitch, for your time. And if anybody has any questions, you guys know where to find me. I'm more than happy to answer them personally. I always do.
Okay.
Amazing.